Good afternoon. It is Wednesday, April the 14th, 2021. Sego David Lahashu Juts, and welcome to today's edition of the COVID-19 Task Force Update on this, our 201st edition of Kahnawake 911. This afternoon, our guests will be Thawennontie Thomas and Kwatsitsa Meloche, and she'll be here to talk about some mental health and wellness issues. But first, we'll start off with our first guest.
Yeah, well, David. Hello, everyone. I'm Thawennontie Thomas. I'm the owner and operator of ATD Manufacturing Technologies and First Choice Gas here in Kahnawake, both businesses who were deemed essential and operable through the pandemic. Navigating multiple businesses through the pandemic for a little over a year now, it feels a lot longer than that, has been difficult to say the least. There were so many sleepless nights, stress, concerns over employee safety, diminishing sales, shrinking customer base, and an overall feeling of uncertainty regarding my business. It took a toll on myself, and I'm sure there are many other business owners within the community were feeling the same way, and I have to say that we're all in this together. But I'm not really here to talk about all the trials and tribulations of operating a business through this pandemic. I'm here to express my gratitude on behalf of my team at ATD Manufacturing Technologies and First Choice Gas. Both businesses have Kahnawake and non-local employees. When I had informed my local employees that they were now eligible for the vaccination because of their employment here in Kahnawake, there were no words to describe how grateful and meaningful this was for them. Some of them were even emotional because of how grateful they were. None of these people were eligible for vaccination by their own communities. There was such an incredible positive feeling that Kahnawake was looking out for them. They were able to go home and tell their friends and family they were vaccinated by Kahnawake. I was a bit apprehensive about some of the feedback that we would receive on social media regarding non-Kahnawake being vaccinated. But I'm very pleased to say that I have nothing but positive feedback from outside individuals, communities, and organizations. To hear these voices say that Kahnawake is looking out not only for our own people, but non-locals who were employed here is very eye-opening. Overall, there was a strong consensus that Kahnawake was navigating the community through the pandemic much better than the communities based off of vaccination rollout and the overall lack of COVID cases. It made me proud as a business owner in Kahnawake, proud because we're not only taking care of our own people, but also the non-local employees that come here for work. I, as a business owner, do my best to ensure that my employees feel safe and confident with the work environment, and when the community of Kahnawake can step in and provide additional resources via the vaccine to ensure the safety of my employees, it made me proud of our community. So on behalf of everyone at ATD Manufacturing Technologies and First Choice Gas, I would like to formally thank the Task Force, the Cattery Memorial Hospital, the MCK, and ultimately the community of Kahnawake for sharing these critical vaccination with my employees. I would also like to thank everyone that did their part through the pandemic, the nurses, the caregivers, frontline workers, and essential workers. Everyone did their part to ensure that our community was safe as possible through this pandemic. Yamagoa Kahnawake.
Nyawa, definitely very eye-opening for sure. Nyawa. Our next guest needs no introduction. I'm sure everybody recognizes her from around town, and she's here today to talk about mental health and wellness and other issues dealing with the pandemic moving forward as we continue with this change of scenery. I call it a temporary change because I know we'll be back to normal, right?
No.
We have to work to get back to normal, right?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, well, Sego Sewagwego, Kwatsitsa, am I on?
You're on.
You ready to go?
Yes, we're ready to go.
Okay, Nyawa. Well, Kwatsitsa Ginagare. I want to thank, of course, the task force, David, yourself, and everybody else behind the scenes, the council, men and women who are, Ganusesne, all the people, all, it's amazing the power and strength that I see behind the scenes, as I do travel Kahnawake and I do go to Thawennontie, his first choice Premier Schwa over at the gas bar to deliver tomahawk chips, and everybody is happy. And one of the things that's made me so happy is that, as many of you know, I've traveled Indian country for the last almost, if not 30 years. And there is a very rare instance where First Nations are first on the list. And in this case, what an amazing job everybody's done. I want to thank the teachers, the students, the parents. It's amazing. So yeah, what I'm going to talk about a little bit today is, we've had a challenge, of course, in not only Kahnawake, but all across Indian country, because this is the power. To me, there's a power to the pandemic. And the power is that in a lot of ways, we've been restricted. We've been challenged before by laws and language, and that hurt our, fractured our identity and things like that. But we are the leaders in so many places that I do these kind of calls for their task force and their community. Kahnawake is an amazing, and the First Nations, the Inuit, they're leaders in North America, really. So I want to thank everybody, and I know it's been challenging. But I'm blessed to be with you guys, and of course my husband and my family, which of course is hard to see at times. But I will show you something that a lot of us have discussed throughout the last few weeks. We're talking about emotional health and wellness. And a lot of times, I know that there's AA meetings, there's CA meetings out in Longay, Greenfield Park, other places where they're trying to get their community healthy, where they get a healthy family. And, a lot of us need each other, and we don't realize how much we need each other. So the power is that sometimes, when I look at this leather here, if you could see this, and we are like a basket. People are like a basket. And our history has gone into the basket. And then our hurts and pains and shames and blame and trauma, it all goes in the basket. We are the basket. And a lot of times it overflows. So we look for places to deal with our stuff. And a lot of us, including myself, have often gone to alcohol, other drugs, where we look to feel good. And even the non-natives that I work with outside, they're finding that a lot of their alcohol and other drugs are getting at an escalation level. And the thing is that we have got to help each other. And what I realized, traveling throughout Kahnawake in the last, couple of months, being, who would know, chips are an essential service. So meeting with everybody, double masking. And I mean, it's almost like we're peer counseling each other. So people, in our 6 feet distance, we go outside, we talk, and people are helping each other. And I asked around the community if there was people. And, I got names like Geraldine Standup, who said, check her out on Messenger. Please call her. You could call, of course, the Peacekeepers at 632-6505. You could call Sagotia Tagenhas at 632-6880. Trina Moses also said you could call her or email her, actually, Trina_610@hotmail.com. We got a few other gentlemen, because unfortunately, I think for us, as Indian country, the women are leaders in so many ways, and unfortunately we've left men behind, or they chose to not join us, or whatever the situation was. But I talked to a couple of young individuals who have worked hard to deal with a lot of these things that we look at here. And if any of you have ever needed a man to understand, because I've got to talk to men, but it's not the same. It's not the same when you could talk to someone who understands. So we have Ryan N. from Kahnawake, Asanuje, and of course, Mike Standup. They've all given their numbers here. Ryan is at 438-246-5354. Mike Standup, you could get through him through Messenger, as well as his phone number. Asanuje is also an amazing, these are amazing young men, that I just commend, a lot of them. And, so me and my husband, Brian, as we're delivering, we walk out a lot of times and we're like, we were just, we're therapists in a lot of ways. As First Nations people, we're orators. We've always talked. And, if you have the opportunity to call the Wellness Lodge, or, because a lot of the struggles we've been through, a lot of the hurts and pains that are in our basket create not only mental health issues, and sometimes that scares us, huh? Oh my gosh, mental health. but it's also emotional. So when we're feeling scattered and we're running around and we're not looking at each other, we're not talking to each other, all of that happens. But there's reasons, and we have to discuss with each other what is going on. So we have to create that healthy community. April 29th, there's supposed to be a Zoom meeting coming on. Check the Eastern Door, as well as Greg Horn's Yoriwase. He has something, that's going to be coming up through April 9th. Geraldine told me about this. And that when we look at becoming a healthy community, eventually our families will become healthier. And when we look at the word healthy, we divide it in half, and it says to heal thyself, which is not easy. And a lot of people call it work. But if we're coking, poking with all the wrong people, and we're having, all these challenges, we need to find other branches to help us, other avenues, other paths. So that's where Ryan comes in, Asanuje, myself, of course. I don't know if my information is at the bottom. If you see that there's a phone number with my email, vista@vistaseminars.com. So all of those things, are just an amazing time. So when we work to heal thyself, a lot of people want to be able to walk with their stomach in, their chest out, proud. It is tough. I know it's tough because we are tough on each other, because history has been tough on us. So it's made us very tough. So if we could work with each other, with the numbers I've given you, phone numbers, people are willing to help you, willing to bring us to the next level, because a lot of us are struggling. And please, you do not have to struggle alone. Okay, any thoughts, questions, comments?
Well, I did have one question. What would be the easiest way if somebody wanted to reach out to yourself to speak with you or to get more information? What would be the best way for them to contact you?
For me, it's my phone number. So I'm still the old school, 438-275-7007. So you could check me out there, or on the V.I.S.T.A Seminars webpage. There's also a submission page on there, thanks to Jacko Otter and Akwesasne. So that's kind of how we work. We are very much, they use the word herd people, but we're powerful people because we have an amazing, powerful, ancient energy that not everybody has.
You
So
said
tap into that.
You said something earlier that really piqued my interest, because I felt it too. You said sometimes, you go to businesses and you're delivering the chips and you're acting as a therapist. And
We all are to each other. though.
Exactly. And that's what I found
Yeah.
too. Because sometimes when you bump into somebody you haven't seen in a while, you start talking and asking, how are you doing? And then the conversation starts. And then you see that you're not alone, that even though we all have a different face and we may have different jobs and we come from the same community and we have all the same trials and tribulations dealing with COVID. And we all need that outlet once in a while to talk to people, to let people know how I'm feeling and how you're feeling. So I think this is the next step in making sure that our mental health and our emotional health are in check during this very difficult time.
Yes, and however though, if we find that we're having a hard time dealing with stuff, because we're only able to talk to people for a few minutes.
Right.
And I don't want to overburden somebody with my stuff either. And, it's important to call professionals is a key. It's important, and I'm going to challenge Kahnawake here to get AA meetings going. I'm going to challenge to get the CA meetings back, and, to look at having the 6 feet distance. Because like I said, I've attended in Greenfield Park, and, people are very strict.
Right.
But if we could keep it just Kahnawake for now to start, like Thawennontie said, Kahnawake is a leader in so many ways.
Absolutely.
So thank you all. Miigwech Kahnawà.
Well,
If there's nothing else,
Kahnawà, for letting us into your home and letting us talk to you for a little while. And of course, it's always appreciated. Can you just put your phone number back up on the screen one last time so we can show our viewers? Perfect.
Yeah.
So it's
And I'm going to show you,
438
I'm going to tell you the,
275 7007.
yes. And I'm going to talk about the natural highs. So get your music going. Get some exercise going. Laugh. We have got to start laughing. Do the exercise. And then, of course, the big O. You know what the big O is?
I do, but I'm going to let you explain it.
So music, exercise, laughter, orgasm, and believe it or not, chocolate. Dang, I should sell chocolates. Never mind chips, Dave. My husband's there. Whoa, whoa, we're doing enough now.
Well, I don't think there's anything on that list that anybody can say anything bad about, so I think it's all
Yes.
good.
Enjoy them all. Okay, Nyawagoa,
Nyawa.
Bewaguego. I just appreciate you all. I mean, and I love you all. It's I know we all have tough times, but everybody really, really cares about each other. So
Absolutely.
Nyawagoa.
Okay, Nyawagoa, take care. Ona.
Okay. Ona.
Very insightful guests this afternoon, and we'd like to thank them for coming here today and taking the time out of their busy schedules to provide us with some information and some insight. And that's it for our update today. From all of us here, we'd like to say Nyawagoa, Danu, Onagiwahi.
Onagiwahi. Sure.